Yeah, hello out there. Yes, hello out there. How are you? How's everybody doing over there? Hello out there. How are you? Hey, Ballard, what's up, man? How are you, man? Thanks for coming, man. Yep. I'm gonna send the link in a couple of more minutes, about 5 minutes, because I this is the stuff what I do here. I talk about the arts and movies, sports, and I stay away from politics and religion and stuff. I stay away and drama. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and be back in a couple of seconds. Okay, here we go. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, people. Right here, we're gonna talk a little bit about the not already the not already primetime players. You know what was that? I heard about that. You about that. Okay, we're gonna talk about the not so cool prime players. God, I forgot how well was that. It's been so long. Okay, make it more easy. We're gonna talk about Saturday Night Live. Here I have it's the first season of the let me show you guys. People out there, anybody's looking over there? Okay. Here's the video, the DVD of the first season of Saturday Night Live. And this was a comedy show. It had a lot of guys that went out to become famous, like here we have John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, let's see, oh yeah, Gilda Radner, who went on to become that character Rosanna Banana, something like that. I wasn't much into it. What's her name? Lorraine Newman, and the other one is Jane Curtin, and I think this guy's overrated. Uh, one of the funniest guys I've seen, Garrett Morris. Yeah, he was a guy, underrated actor. He was one. He was quite. Yeah, he's still alive. Very talented guy. Very funny guy. I think he was overrated. No, he was underrated. Okay, yeah, he was underrated. Yep, it's right here. Actually, my brother loaned me this, and I haven't returned back his uh his uh, his his DVD section. Well, let me show you guys again. SNL, Saturday Night Live. Any memories from this show? Who are your favorite characters? Which is the funniest ones? Well, I'll give them a few of the ones funny ones. The cheeseburger rest scene, the one that was called the Island of the Lost Luggage. That was pretty stupid, but I think it was hilarious. And also the buckwheat character. Mm-hmm. Buckwheat got shot. And the samurai. What was it called? Samurai. Uh, Yeah, the samurai. Yeah, yeah, the land shark. I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that one, the land shark, and also the yeah, also there was one character, also the those fabulous guys, Dan Aykroyd and Dean Martin characters, and the Coneheads. Yeah, yeah, the Coneheads. You can forget those guys, the Coneheads, and yeah, the Coneheads, and also guys. But yeah, later on I might watch some. I want to watch a couple of episodes, but. Ah, that's right. That's right. When he was working at a pizza joint, I think, and when he went to college, he took every single course in college. He registered every single course. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, that's him. Yeah, yeah. He registered every single course, and they were trying to kick him out of the. Yeah. Yeah, they were trying to kick him out of the. And also the cheeseburger. That character was based actually on a real restaurant that's still there in Chicago, and also the characters, the way he did that character Belushi. He made a homage to his uncles because him and his dad and his uncles were in the restaurant business in Chicago. And he made a homage to their uncles, to his uncles. Yeah, but no Coke Pepsi, no Coke Pepsi, no Coke Pepsi, no Coke Pepsi. Yes, but yes, no Coke Pepsi. Yeah. Here it is. Check this out. It says here, nowhere else can you see the complete first SNL featuring hosts George Carlin, Rob Reiner, Lily Tomlin, Richard Pryor, Elliot Gould, and Candice Bergen, or original music performances by Simon and Garfunkel, ABBA, Patti Smith, Group, Jimmy Cliff, and Carly Simon. And if you are curious as how the original cast was hired, check out the bonus features that include the screen test of each performer of the show. Yeah, and it premiered October 11, 1975, from the historic Studio 8 in New York City's Rockefeller Center. Yes, they were compared as the Beatles of comedy at that time. Oh, here it is. they're not ready for prime time players. It was they were called. Yeah, that's right. Now I remember. Yeah, yeah, those seasons were good. I think from that era all the way when Eddie Murphy came around, those were the funniest sketches. But from then on, it just kind of just went down a little bit. And then like in the '90s, it picked up again. When I think when who I think we had Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Yeah, especially I don't know if you ever see that sketch that took place in the Civil War. And I mean, this was like in the '90s. It was Dana Carvey was in the sketch, and I think it was Chris Rock and Sinbad, and they were actually playing a Northern regiment, of the Civil War. And since that was around the same time when Clinton allowed gays in the military, they were making a parody, and they were making a parody of what would it be like of having gays in the military back in the yeah. Oh yeah, I don't think he should. Yeah, yeah. What would happen if gays were in the military back in the days of the Civil War? That sketch, yeah, yeah. I think it was Sinbad and Chris Rock, and the guy was Dana Carvey. Yeah, Dana Carvey played one of the gay guys, which that was hilarious. And who else was that? Carvey. Mhm. Yeah, they sure need some new comedians to laugh and laugh more. What else do I got here to show you guys? Well, I have here 25th anniversary of the Blues Brothers movie DVD. 25th anniversary. As a matter of fact, I even saw this movie when it came out the very first day. Yeah, I saw it. It was on a Friday the 20th, and a week later, The Empire Strikes Back was going to be released. Yeah, a week later. Yeah, because as I remember that day. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, okay. That was the same day that yeah, yeah. Because that same day I remember that was the first Duran and Leonard Duran fight. And the second one was in Montreal where Duran says, "No mas, no mas." Yeah, how I remember this because uh, uh, a week before it was I was in the I was on the summer vacation break from the seventh grade, and I was starting eighth grade that following fall. And I remember I was staying over at my cousin's house, and we had a call from Mexico from about two of my cousins that were traveling in Mexico, who said that they were robbed at gunpoint while traveling down there by some bandits. They were actually robbed. And I remember when my cousin picked up the phone, he was cracking up, man. Yeah, that was a Thursday, and the next day was the 20th. That's when I went to go see the movie. I remember I saw the last showing. A 10:20 showing. I saw it. 10:20 showing. I saw. Yeah, 10:20 showing. And you know something very interesting. This album came out Oh, here it is. Look at Belushi was only 5'8", and Dan Aykroyd was a little taller than I am. He is well. He's still alive. He's six. He's six. He's 6'10". No, 6'1". 6'1". Yeah, 6'1". Yeah, Belushi was overweight. He was 6'8", weighed at 225 pounds, and that's overweight. He was supposed to weigh. He was supposed to weigh at least 150 pounds. He was like, oh my God, he was really overweight. And Dan Aykroyd was about. He was 6'1". He was like 30 pounds overweight at that time. You know, as a matter of fact, I met Dan Aykroyd back in 2010. When he was promoting his crystal vodka. You know, it's the bottle shape of a skull. He was promoting it, and he had it in yeah on a bottle skull, and it was crystal vodka. Mm, crystal vodka. Well, I'm gonna start putting the link right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You know that thing was inspired by some legend, some some UFO legend that goes back to the Mayan days. Yeah, it goes to the Mayan days, and and yeah, it goes back to the Mayan days, and yeah, it goes back, and it's and my brother bought a bottle of that vodka. Yeah, yeah, because you know Dan Aykroyd is an is a believer. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Miguel. Uh, mm, uh, let's see. Dan Aykroyd is he's an avid believer of ghosts. He claims that his mom and dad were parents had seances in his house, and that's also one of his inspirations for Ghostbusters. But actually, let me tell you something. Actually, Ghostbusters, his story, it is Ghostbusters. Okay, it's called Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, but the original Ghostbusters goes back to 1975. Very few people know that. Very few people know that. It was a television show from 1975 that had a they had this actor Fortis Tucker. I don't know if you remember him. He was a big burly guy, big tall guy who always played a bad guy. And it was another actor. He was on F Troop. Yeah, he was on F Troop, and yeah, he was on F Troop. Yeah, and it was called the Ghostbusters. It was actually a live children's show. Yes, yes, that's true. I remember that. I remember that. I remember that shows. 15. There were 15 episodes that were. Let me. Well, I'm gonna get the link right now. But yeah, 15. But I've seen. I remember seeing them a couple. Seen them. Actually, there was. I I remember like in the 90s. I came across of a video of that show on in some. Yeah, that's right, Larry. Yeah, Larry Storch. As a right, Larry Storch is still alive. He's like in his 90s. Yeah, exactly. It's unrelated to the. to the 1984 film. Exactly. Yeah, it was kind of like a rip off. Well, it wasn't really a rip off, but it was like sort of like a. It was produced by CBS, as I recall, but it was because before that, you had other shows that were live children's live animations on ABC, which were like The Land of the Lost, Sleeping in the Sea Monsters, Wonderbug. What was the other show? Dr. Schwinkler. That was, and you had this one was called Run Joe Run, about this dog who is like a. It was sort of like an inspiration of the fugitive, and they were and this dog and his owner or somebody was looking for him, but he could never get Ron. But he could never get Joe. Ron Joe Run. It was called Ron Joe Run. Yeah, the show. It was a pretty. It was a kind of neat show. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link right now. You have so many shows. You got also, there's one show I don't think of that era. They will never make a movie of it because you know why? Because people are going to confuse it with a terrorist group, ISIS. Remember, there was there was a television show about a woman who turned into this goddess Isis, and she combated evil villains like she was like a Superman. It was called The Adventures of Isis. The show, yeah, because she found that some relic or something that belonged to the goddess of Isis in Egypt, and whenever she put it on, she became Isis, and she flew. That also you have Shazam, Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, Almighty Isis. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, she's a pretty good looking girl. Yeah, she's pretty good looking. I heard that she auditioned for. I think it was her Love Story, and the director didn't even like her. Okay. Yes, All the Secrets of Isis. Yeah, yeah. I pinned the link up there if you want to, if anybody wants to come up or if anybody. Yeah, you got ISIS. Yeah, a lot of these shows were pretty cool back then. Okay, I got you 43. Hey, what up, 43?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Right on.
Yeah, well, yes, that show ISIS. Yeah, I remember that very well. That show.
I remember
I,
everything.
yeah, it came out. It came out around the same time that the Cosby show, like Fat Albert, came around the
Yeah,
same.
they
It
were
was
all
still
about the same. Yeah. I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
watch all of them every week, every Saturday, and all the other
Well,
time.
yeah,
Then
because back,
when I got the UHF channels, I started watching all the stuff that he used to redo.
yeah, because in those days, kids till they got to understand. In those days, we didn't have any all these kiddie channels like Fox Kids, Nickelodeon, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah,
the good Saturday morning cartoons. They were,
yeah,
they weren't always made great, but they were made, for kids.
yeah.
For
They
the
were
most
also like,
part.
you
Well,
had
they were made
Scooby
for
Doo.
kids and the adults, but the adult stuff the kids never noticed until they became adults.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was some funny ones too. It's like that. What was the name of that detective, the dog who had this little funny laugh, laugh mumbly or something. He had this little funny laugh.
What was
He was
he?
like, yeah, he was a detective, a dog detective. I think he was a cop, and he had this funny laugh.
There was plenty of those, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out which one you're talking about.
and there was also Goober and the Ghost Hunter, something Goober. Yeah,
There was there's so many. There's
yeah,
so many. So many they tried, they played for a year or two and then never saw
yeah.
again, but people still remembered them.
Yeah. But the classic ones ended up in my opinion of that time,
You
and
know?
to this day still is. Most like the Super Friends.
The Super
Well,
Friends. Dun, 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 dun.
that's sort of like the Justice League up today. Yeah, Super Friends, and there was another show called let's see, there was this one about this guy that goes, "Hey, one hot gal, how are you, girl? Thanks for showing up." There was a show called about this man that goes all the way, goes to Africa, and he finds this mysterious water, and for some reason he becomes a 10-year-old kid again, sort of like big, and then he goes back to being an adult. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it was the same. Who did that character? The kid character. The kid
Mm.
character was played by that kid who played Oliver on the Brady Bunch last episodes. He was a kid.
Oh, that
Yeah,
little kid, that one they brought in that annoyed everybody.
yeah, that kid. Yeah, that kid. Yeah,
Oh
that.
God,
Yeah,
everybody hated that kid, man.
yeah.
Everybody hated that kid.
That actor did a sketch where where he's saying, "Oh man, I was treated so bad on that show, man. And damn it," something like that. It's like joking around. I was treated so bad. What? He's kind of like mad, but he's only like joking. It's a parody. I don't know who did that. I think it was TV Land or somebody like that did it. Hey, Heaven Sent, how are you? Heaven Sent. The lady friend from another community comes to also a friend of mine. She's a good lady. Hmm. Heaven Sent. Hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, those were the great shows. Like, man. There was the After School Special. You had that. The After School Special. I kind of found it in a way.
Yeah, those after
Uh,
school specials were stupid.
in a way, they were stupid, but kind of
I
in a
mean,
way they were
they
like,
meant well. They
yeah,
did, but
yeah,
it was just, oh
yeah,
my God, come on.
yeah,
Some were just ridiculous.
yeah. The one that was really ridiculous was that kid that who had like a who had this he was like autistic or something, and he had a sister who was like very kind of like always complaining about things and everything. That she wasn't having a good summer and everything. And it was called Lynn of the Swans or something of the Swans. It was called. It was from actually a book. I don't know that it was called that. But it was, oh, we're talking about old TV shows. You got any favorite ones? Haven't sent?
Not too many. There's too
Yeah,
many
too
to
many.
count. They're all pretty good,
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty good back then. I remember watching this one called as a matter of fact, you can find them here on YouTube. The episodes. It was called the Paradise or something House of Frankenstein. It was sort of like a rip off of the Monsters, but it was produced out of Canada.
Oh Canada, oh
Yeah,
Canada.
and it had like oh yeah, old movies too, old shows, old movies. You name it, we got them all here. Yeah, and it had this big guy. I think he was Igor or something, and he was this big fat, albino guy, but he had a black mustache. Yeah, yeah, it was called the House of Franklin or something. But you can watch it on YouTube. Has it, and I was looking up to find him because I said, "What the fuck?" I finally, God, I haven't seen this one in over 40 years, man. That show. There was also the Electric Company, the original one. The original one, that was a better one. Well, Morgan Freeman was on that show.
The Electric Company, yeah.
That's where he started. Morgan Freeman. And hey, Poopa, how are you? Yes, there was a Electric Company. What was the name of that show? The Allegre. I don't know if you remember that one. That was a bilingual show. It was a bilingual show.
Never saw the bilingual stuff except for Sesame Street and a little bit of that.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. The Allegre. It was like that.
Or like,
I know that because I was in second grade and they made us watch that show. Yeah, yes, the Twilight Zone. Yes, they made us watch that show. Those two shows, the Allegre and Sesame Street. Yeah, I mean they play on PBS like around in the morning. And we had like a half an hour and we watched them for half an hour. They made us watch those shows like the Allegre and the Electric Company. Spider-Man was on that. Remember that one?
Spider-Man. They were good at the time, but then you look back at them now and you're like, oh my God, how the frick did I watch this stuff?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Red. Yeah,
Famous Mr. Ed.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood, huh?
Oh, horses, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about Howdy Doody? Did you like Howdy Doody?
Oh
Howdy
no,
Doody?
come on, that's before our that's way before our time.
No, I used to watch Howdy Doody. I watched Howdy Doody. I watched Mr. Ed. All of them shows.
Okay. Yeah, but Mr. Ed, you watched it on reruns, just like I watch Leave It to Beaver, but Howdy Doody never did anything.
My Mom, the Car.
Yeah.
Go the one before Gilligan's Island.
Which one?
Tobey Maguire, some shit.
No,
I forget.
no.
He was in college or something.
Dobie Gillis.
Kobe Gillis, yeah.
Yeah, that was with him and Warren Beatty was also on that show. He co-starred in that show. That was that show. There was also another show from back then, for the 50s. It was called. Let's see that one with Rifleman. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, the Rifleman, Mr. Ed.
The Rifleman was one of the longest running shows ever.
No, that'll have to be the Bonanza and Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke, yeah. MASH was long too.
Yeah. Oh, look at she has here Heckle and Jekyll. I remember those and cartoons. Yeah, oh yeah.
We're all old, heaven sent. We are all old.
Yeah, we're all old. Yeah.
Because it says 43, don't mean I am.
Yeah, Heckle and Jekyll and yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, so there was another cartoon called from back then. It was called George of the Jungle. George.
Yeah, George of the Jungle. Oh, you mean Crack Tales and what you call them? Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. Oh, yes, Moose and Squirrel over here. Moose and Squirrel. That's like that. Rocky. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it was kind of funny. The funny song.
Who wants to get Moose and Squirrel?
I didn't get another hat.
I never understood why they needed to get the Moose and Squirrel, though.
Well, because the Moose and Squirrel were like secret agents.
No, they weren't. They were a moose and a squirrel. They weren't secret nothing. Or how about Mr. Peabody?
Mr. Peabody here, my boy Sherman.
You know, the time traveler dog with the kid.
Fairy tales, and they had that fairy tales cartoon.
Johnny Quest,
Quest, yeah.
Flintstones, Jetsons.
Jetsons, yeah. Oh yeah, we can go
Yeah,
all
but
night
see,
long.
Kevin, as soon as you go look at it, and most of those, a lot of them just don't age well with you. They
No.
really don't. You're looking at them going, I like this shit. I mean, come on. Some of them are just god awful. And I used
Yeah,
to love
some.
them. I used to
Me
love
too.
them. But
It's like,
now you look at them and you're just, God, these are god awful.
well, and some of them you can see are good. Like for example, like good ones. Like well, you can say about like 70% were good, and 30% a lot of were awful.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was that one called a turtle. The turtle and Mr. Wizard. Help, Mr. Wizard. That was not very such.
I'm
It,
fucking Mr. Wizard.
yeah. Help, Mr. Wizard. I gotta. When I see Sasha, by the guy, sometimes he goes into Glenn's panel. I
And
see the
and there's
tape.
other ones that are just so cringe now that you just like, God, I like this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
There
can't
was
watch
also
those old shows anymore. They just didn't age well. A lot of them.
just like there was this one called the Mighty Hercules. That was one of the worst ones I see.
The who?
The Mighty Hercules. There was one called. It was a song. The Mighty Hercules.
Oh, Mighty Hercules. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Mighty Hercules. Yeah. It was also also
I
your
still
Tennessee.
I still miss Sunday mornings matinees of monster movies, man.
Yeah.
Two
Even on
good
TV.
monster movies in the Sunday, then you go outside and play all day.
The monster one. Well, if you go to
Oh yeah, we used to get monster movies. We used to get all kinds of stuff, man.
yes, that
I used,
Godzilla.
back in the '70s, I was even getting freaking anime on one
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah, Godzilla. Yeah,
Oh no, this
Godzilla.
was like this was Japanese straight up anime.
Yeah.
I think it was
Okay.
one of the first ones or something because it was just, oh my God.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of good ones animated from Japanese. You had also Speed Racer was from Japan.
Speed
Uh
Racer. Speed Racer was a narcissistic asshole.
yeah,
It's all about him and racing and nothing else.
yeah.
It's like, but
And
I have to win
also
the race. But I must
yeah.
finish the race. But I have to finish the race.
And also this one that I think the Lion King ripped off. It was called Kimba the Lion. Kimba the Lion. Because I came here in '72 to the United States, '72. And I remember here in Oceanside where I live right now, I went to live with a cousin of mine, and there was this channel out of LA called Channel 52. And Channel 52 in the afternoons would air. Check this out: The Little Rascals, Speed Racer, The Three Stooges, and Kimba. Later on, they added other shows like The Addams Family, Leave It to Beaver. That was later on, and then Rocky and Bullwinkle. But that was the main ones: Little Rascals,
Captain
the
Kangaroo.
Three Stooges. No, that was usually in the mornings. This was and Kimba and Speed Racer. Yeah,
I like Captain
channel
Kangaroo.
yeah. Channel 52, and in Channel 52 on like around 8 o'clock would become a Japanese channel, Asian channel, and on Fridays they had the original. Few people remember these. They have the original Power Rangers from Japan, the very
Mm-hmm.
first ones. Most people say the Power Rangers are from the '90s. No, original ones are from the '70s, Japan. And I used to watch them. We never
Go,
and
go,
it
Power
was in
Rangers.
Japanese, no subtitles. And we used to call them bum 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 bum. That's all we could understand. Bum 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 bum. Yeah. Bum 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 bum. And it was from Japan.
Helicopters flying around today.
Yeah, yeah. The original Power Rangers were from Japan. The original ones. And they also had the Lady Comet, who was like a magician lady who came to these kids and she was like a magician or something. But in the United States, it wasn't very famous. But in Latin America, people used to watch it. They call her La Señorita Cometa, she was called.
They
It was very,
always had good shows. Of course,
yeah,
all those kids shows weren't just for kids, man. Those kids shows are for the parents as well, mostly dads.
yeah.
Especially some of those cute. Oh my god, what was that girl's name? Started with an X.
Who- Which one?
She was a Mexican kids show. It was. She was. I think she was blonde, and she always wears short skirts. Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch like that.
Short skirts,
Oh
Mexican.
yeah, short skirts. There's another one out.
X. Oh no! But wait a minute, X. You had to go. No, they no. That's like in the late '80s and early '90s.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
no,
all
she wasn't. No, she wasn't Mexican. She was
no
actually she was Brazilian. Shoot shot.
Brazilian. There you go. There you
Yeah,
go. I
shoot
see. I
shot.
didn't
No,
know that. I didn't.
yeah,
Unfortunately, I was a sheltered child, so.
but very few people know that before she did that shoot shot, she appeared in a mini a porn film in Brazil. Yeah, 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 and she would admitted it. And she would admitted it, and they even had a scene of her on a TV show with her that she did. Oh yeah, and
I
she
remember
posted
seeing her.
some.
All I saw was her singing because I couldn't understand it. But all I ever
Yeah,
remember was seeing her sing and
that
stuff. I
was
was like, damn.
yeah, and there was rumors that she was having an affair with a big soccer Pele. There were rumors. People were saying that. Yeah, but she did that movie. That movie, I see that movie. You can, that movie's on YouTube, but it's on like you might watch it. It's some broken kind of like blurry looks thing in a way, but it's
Hmm.
yeah, it's a soft. It's kind of like mini film, but it's not hardcore. But it's an adult movie. She plays a prostitute in a whorehouse that caters only big spenders, like politicians and tycoons, and that was a film.
Got to be
And
careful of those places.
yeah, yeah,
That's why
and
they hire young girls now.
yeah. Well, in Mexico, where it's legal, what they do, they always send the cops, to do an inspection. But the cops, they don't come in with a cop wearing civil clothes. No, they send like a SWAT team or something,
Yeah.
and they tell everybody who's there to don't move, which is like it's a raid or something. And they check them out, and they try to check who might be underage and everything, who's underage and that. They tell everybody to leave, and this place is closed. Yeah,
I did.
yeah, that's what they do. They have that, and they tell them not to move. You got to stay there in the
Only
tree.
we could just go back there and stay there. Unfortunately, time doesn't allow us.
Exactly, time doesn't allow us. Oh, yeah.
Ah, man, the 70s were great.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish,
great. I
I
mean,
really do wish I was back in the 70s because it was so much. I mean, I know that's just nostalgia in your brain, and it really wasn't that great for anybody. It was just as bad as it is today. But
yeah,
as a kid, the 70s were great.
yeah, that's right. I remember back then. We would play outside on
Mm-hmm.
the street. We would play outside on the street, and there was no way.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah. Talk to my
yeah.
neighbors.
Yeah, back then, if we
Yeah,
talk to
yeah. For
them,
that
like,
one, yeah.
tell hey kid, get out of there, kid.
I
Maybe
might, I
would
might
yell
have
at
to.
them.
I might get my mom's. Yeah. Is it? Shh. Grass. Okay. Well, if I
Yeah,
have to, I can use my mom's too, maybe.
yeah.
Sorry, we have a lot of grass here, and we started
Oh,
to cut it today
cool. Yeah, yeah.
because yeah, it's been raining so much, and we just haven't had time to get out there. My neighbor got out and did part of the yard. I got to do my backyard and my, oop, my garden. I see something. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. The garden.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
Hey,
cool.
I gotta go.
Okay.
I gotta go, Carlos. I got my rides here, so I will be back later.
Okay, cool. Thanks for joining us. Oh, cool. Heaven sent. Oh, yeah. Hippies. Yeah, yes. Yes, I remember those days. Yeah. I'll be 55 in December, you know, but I remember all of that stuff from back then. Oh God, oh yes, oh yes, I remember all of that stuff. Yeah, the food tasted a lot better back then. Yeah, yeah. All I remember is that uh, many times I go with the neighbors and I was jumping the fence or I was doing this. I always seen the neighbor coming to my mom and telling her that I did this, I did that. Yeah, kind of miss those. Right when like when I was like in like by the sixth grade or so, I was I got more mature. That's when I stopped doing Halloween. You know, that's when I stopped going, trick or treating and everything. When I was like in the sixth grade, like that. And then, yeah, because when I was in sixth grade, we lived in these apartments. Wrestling lady, wow, yeah. And by the time when I was like about let's see, about I was about 11 going on 12. That's when I was trying to. That's when I was first started going out. Going out, going to the movies by myself, doing a lot of things by myself. In those days, yeah, that's when I started. I think that's when the neighbors. That's when I started. Not. You know. That's when it stopped me getting in trouble. By my neighbors. That's yeah. Yeah, we lived in these apartments that were two bedroom. We were like, oh, it was my mother, my two brothers, and my sister were there, and then my aunt lived there. A cousin of mine lived there too with us, and then my sister came there living with her husband because she couldn't. She I don't know why she couldn't find a place to live with. I mean, with her husband, but she lived there with us. But we were like packed. But a couple of years later, we moved into a bigger house. Well, actually, a townhouse. We lived, but it was a lot better house. I remember. Yeah. It was a lot better house. It was a lot better. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I moved here from Mexico in 1978, and my father and my mother and brothers and sisters are here in Mexico, and I've been living here since. Like I said, now 43 years now will be in August. Yeah, no, yeah. You live in the country and you go to the and then to live in the big city. That's a big change, man. From living in the country, going to live in a big city, that's can really take your toll on you. Yeah, that's when I came here in '78. I came in '78. I came here, and then I went to live with my before that I was living here, but I was living with cousins. But I would go home to Mexico like every on the weekends. I was going to school here, and my mother finally decided that we should come here to move because she didn't like the stress more. So we live here since, and I tell you, I didn't even miss Mexico when I came here. No, no, I love it so much. But 2 years later, when I went back to visit and I came back, I kind of got into the more nostalgia. I think. That's life. Hey, Samantha, how are you? Samantha, thanks for coming. Yeah, we moved here to 1978. Yes, but here in where I live in Oceanside, we have a restaurant here. We've been in business uh, since '83. My mother started as a cook, a short cook in a restaurant. She worked. I mean, she worked. I tell you, she worked from day one. Oh my, that was a pretty small school. Yeah, yeah, that was a pretty small school. Yeah. Oh my, yeah, yeah, that was a pretty small school. But that's yes. Well, the school that I went into was a school actually uh, run by the government. It was because actually it was actually on a Marine base, and about like 80% of the kids that I went to school with were all whose parents were in the military, were either the Navy or the Marines. And funny thing, there was the kids that live in the military housing. They would walk home from school. They walk. They there was this they walked this trail, you know that and this trail would lead them to their uh military housing, was just up the hill. It wasn't a big hill, but there was yeah. Well, my school closed, and because they said they found some. They said there was for it violated the state um, earthquake codes. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Samantha. Congratulations to your son. Yes. As a matter of fact, a couple of years back, I had a friend whose wife is in the Navy, and she's a naval officer, and she invited me to their house, a big house. The house was just like an average house, like a civilian house. And and as you went through those houses, big houses, they were all occupied by like the generals, colonels, majors, captains, so forth. Yeah, mostly officers. Yeah, and we went there. We had a great time. We went there to a pool. It was actually a Marine base, Camp Pendleton, which is in here in California. Yeah, it's the largest amphibious Marine base in the country. Mhm. Yeah, we have. Yeah, that's good. You know, I'm happy for you, Samantha, you and your son. Have military house, yeah, that's good. That's what he qualifies for that because it's a lot better. I mean, but one thing I heard is you really gotta take care of those houses. You gotta take care of them. Yeah, Yeah, you really got to take care of those houses. You can't say, for example, if you have a lawn or something, you really got to take care of that lawn, everything. Like it's not like if you're living in a regular house or something. Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. 6 people. All right. All right. Look at the plus the. Oh, cool. Only 21, and I'll just so cool. Yeah, cool. I have nobody in the military right now. Friends of mine, who's in the military. Is your son in the Army, Marines, Air Force, or Navy? What's Yeah, we have, and here in the county, we have several military bases. We have Camp Pendleton, there's Camp Delmar, and then down south in San Diego, there's the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot, and there's also the San Diego Naval Base, and then a little bit further east. Oh, Air Force. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Air Force. Yes, as a matter of fact, I have a friend in the Air Force. His name is McLaren. Is his name, last name. Yeah, I won't say his last name, but he's a friend of mine. He went to high school. He's like a sergeant major or something. He's been there for about many now. I think he lives in I think he's in Virginia. Yeah, a friend of mine. We go way all the way to middle school. We go way back to middle school. Yeah. Oh yes, and we also have that Miramar Naval Air Station, Air Base. That's where the film Top Gun. That's where we. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Air Force is a pretty good outfit. Yeah. Yeah. A friend of mine who is he's an electrical engineer. He works for the Edison, which is like a power company that supplies power all over Orange County, LA County, Riverside County. And he works as a supervisor engineer or something like that. I'm not sure. He was telling me that back in the when he okay okay Evan, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Yes, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Samantha. Take care, baby. Man, yeah, we had a yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's true. That's true. We qualify for that too. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we serve Mexican food. Mexican food. Let me put. I want to put here the website of the restaurant. Oh, me too. I love Italian food also. Yeah. We have a bar. We have a uh, um, we have a bar. We're open like a daily at 11 o'clock. Oh, cool. Hey, Carla. Oh, yeah, every time I talk to Lisa about it, she goes nuts every time I talk about the restaurant. Yeah, because Lisa's parents, own restaurants. Yeah, a lot of well, a lot of Greeks own restaurants. A lot of them are in the restaurant business. Yes, as I remember. Oh, I'm doing great, Carla. Thanks very much. Mhm. Oh, okay, Carla. Okay, Carla. Well, I think let's see if I can do another reading today. Well, let's see. I don't think I want to see of that book. I want to read. For next time. I'm gonna find more readings, much newer stories. I want to find more stories of the supernatural. Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna. Well, I'll read some for a little bit, changing the subject a little bit. We talked about movies already, right? I'm gonna read a. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Gotta find a chapter of which story I can read. Which one's good enough? Okay, let's see. Okay, the birth of Okay, this is called The Birth of the Jersey Devil. We all heard of, that story of the Jersey Devil. Something inside Mother Leeds Stanley found out she was pregnant again. This time with number 13. Life was already struggled with an unreliable and sometimes abusive husband and 12 little children to feed. She worked hard, so very hard, to keep food in stomachs and clothing on their racks. She had not managed to put shoes on every foot. Not even not on every foot. But perhaps, but perhaps this last batch of sewing she taken and would buy another pair. Her husband drank away the little money he earned when he felt like working, and more often than not, lately he did not feel like working at all. A lazy husband might be bearable for Mother Leeds had enough gumption for two, but the combination of lazy and abusive was not. She spent all the time. She spent all the time. Okay, she spent all the time. Spent all the time. She wasn't working, keeping her children and herself away from her husband's ill temper. She had no family, no one to turn to for help. So she remained with her husband and endured. When her husband arrived from the tavern in Burlington that evening, Mother Leeds gave him the news with all of the gumption and fire she had when first met before life and become unbearable hard. A curse beyond you, she shouted at him fiercely, for your indolence and, and sloth and your abusive ways. May I curse be on this child too. May it be devil to plague for your sins. When Father Leach raised his hands to her, she ducked under his fist and thrust him out of the door with both hands. He felt he felt he fell head over heels, too drunk to catch himself, and landed on the water throne. The child would be devil. Mother Leach shouted again so loudly and that entire neighborhood could hear. 13 child, devil's child, they will come for you first. Mother Leach was terrible in her wrath. Her dark eyes blazed almost red in the dim light of the rising thunderstorm. Her arms were spread wide as she were cursing the whole world, rather than just her good for nothing husband. Her children cowered in the dark room and watching their parents. As Mother Leeds announced her curse, a southern lightning bolt seared a tall pine tree at the edge of the clearing where their small house stood, and a thunderclap shook the house ground. She stood unmoving during the burning crash, her long, tangled hair lifting crazily, crazily about the wild-eyed figure in the electrified air following the lightning bolt. Father Leeds gave a shout of terror leaped from the water through and fled from the clearing, never to be seen again in the pinelands. Mother Leach went back into her house as calm as if nothing had happened and sent her children to bed. All that night and all of the next day, the terrible storm raged over the pine lands, flooding the rivers and tearing trees from the ground. But Mother Leach was serene as she flecked the children and saw the shirts she promised to deliver to the local store. Will her baby really be a devil, Mama? Her oldest son asked her father timely after a particularly loud thunderclap. Yes, my son, she replied calmly. But you must take your brothers and sisters far away when it's born, or you will suffer the same fate as your father. The children didn't believe her, of course, but word of the terrible curse swiftly made a way through the town and country. The town and countryside. Folks were hesitant to have any dealings with Mother Leach, afraid she might be a witch, but some of the local women stood for her. They stood for her, knowing what kind of life her husband had given her. The minister spoke to her for a few times, asking if she had any if she had any sins she wished to confess to him, but she just smiled, placing a hand calmly on her spanning middle and said no. 2 months before her 13th child was due to be born, Mother Leach began making arrangements for her children. She secured apprenticeships as for elder boys and housemaids, jobs for the other girls. And a week before the baby's due, she sent her three youngest children to stay with her elder sister, who had recently married a local farmer and set up housekeeping in a nearby town. A storm was raging that night, and Mother Leach was brought to bed in childbirth. The room was full of local women. They had gathered to help her, more out of curiosity than goodwill. Having heard the rumors of the Mother Leach, and heard that Mother Leach was involved in witchcraft and had sworn she would give birth to a devil, no one believed it. Of course, for Mother Leach still went to church every Sunday, and no one harmed the minister still, and they were curious. Tension mounted when the baby finally arrived. It was a relief, and for some, a disappointment. When the baby was born, completely normal, the midwife claimed the child and relief when the baby finally arrived. It was a relief and no one to some of disappointment. When the baby was born completely normal, the midwife cleaned the child and, and swaddled him in warm blanket. Turning to him, to Mother Leach, she abruptly screamed and dropped the bundle on the floor. Woman gasped in honor, but Mother Leach just watched patiently, knowing what was to come. The bundle on the floor jerked and ripped, and suddenly the child burst from the fourth blanket, changing before the very eye. He grew larger and larger, hands and feet transforming into claws. Wings erupted from the shoulder blades, low fire like the eyes of a cat. Within minutes, the child was completely grown. Motherly stared in satisfaction at her. Yeah, okay, here we go. Mhm. He grew larger and larger, hands and feet transforming into claws, wings erupting from the shoulder, blades, horns, each and sprouting from his head, and dark eyes glowing with yellow fire like the eyes of a cat. Within minutes, the child was completely grown. Mother Lead started in satisfaction at her child, who resembled a dragon with a head like a house, the body of a snake, and a forked tail, and, and wings of a bat. Wings of bat. The more intelligence of the women had taken their heels the minute the bundle started working. Racing, those remained horrified and fascinated by the spartacle immediately got a beating as the devil child's fork tail and two enormous wings thrashed about. Even Mother Leaf was not spared, bumping, and she staggered weak, weakly from the bed, still bloody from giving birth. Slowly she gets her to the chimney. You know, you know what, you know, what boy you must do. She grabs to the creature with harsh cry. The fleet's devil flew up to a large chimney and vanished into the storm. Lightning struck, and the blackened stump. Uh, you know what you must do? She gasped to the creature with a harsh cry. The least devil flew up to the large to the large chim to the large chimney and vanished into the storm. Lightning struck the black then stump and pine tree in the same place. It had struck the night. The father leaves had vanished. He says, what you must do? At least devil flew up the large chimney and vanished into the storm. Lightning struck the black stone stump of a pine in the pine tree in the same place. It had struck the the night that father leaves had vanished from the pinelands. A huge clap thunder shook the house. When the woman had recovered enough from their fear to look around the room, Mother Leach lay dead beside the chimney. There was a look of peace on the face, and the woman in the room did not. They say we know. They say though no one knows that for sure that Father Leach was the first victim of the Jersey Devil. Several other Leach children also disappeared in the course of the next few months. Those who had not listened to their mother and taken a toll. Okay, here's the last. Long after the Leafs family had passed on, the Leafs monster called the Jersey Devil continued to haunt the pinelands of New Jersey. Wrecking has come upon farmers' crops and livestock, poisoning pools and creeks. Mm. Well, I'm going to end the stream right now, but thanks for all of you coming here. I'll see you guys next time. Next time, I'll read some more ghost stories. Maybe next week I'm going to go live because my hours are just about ending, but I'll let you guys know. Thanks for coming and good night to all. Bye-bye.